Video creators today are in a constant battle for their audience's attention, and it's a battle where there are no prizes for second place. It is absolutely critical that the content we produce hooks our audiences in, stops them scrolling down their news feeds, and gets them to invest their time into watching our content. In this video, we're going to uncover hooks and how you can use them in the content you produce in your business to increase audience engagement and retention. Coming up, I'm going to reveal how to structure a powerful YouTube intro using hooks. Plus, I'll also be sharing hooks that you can actually put into use in the next video you produce to help skyrocket your audience engagement and retention, so definitely stick around for those. I'm Jeremy, I'm a video creator and video marketer with 20 plus years experience in UK broadcast TV, as well as being a massive digital marketing nerd. I know I need to get out more, but you know, it really doesn't matter how great the value is in your video. If no one gets beyond the first 30 seconds, you're kind of more or less wasting your time. I know it sounds a bit self-evident, but the aim of the game really is to earn the click and then encourage the viewers to stay watching your videos for as long as possible. The more people choose to click through to your video, the longer they're likely to stay around, assuming, of course, that your content is genuinely offering them real value. The more time people spend watching your videos, quite simply, the higher they'll rank, and in turn, the more people will get to see your videos. So what this translates to in real life in terms of being a business owner or entrepreneur is more potential customers getting the opportunity to discover you first off, and then as they come into contact with more of your great quality content, these people grow to know, like, and trust you. In simple English, a proportion of these people will eventually potentially become your new customers. That's new people coming through your door wanting to buy your products or services. So that is why creating great content is so important. But what about hooks? Why are hooks so important? Well, the first 15 to 30 seconds are vital on YouTube, but more generally, you've only got 7 seconds to attract a viewer's attention on socials and then to get them to engage with your content. Just 7 seconds. We really do have goldfish attention spans. Now, hooks are how you attract and hold the attention of the viewer, and that goes for copy, posts, as well as videos. Obviously, in this instance, we're talking about videos. So what actually are hooks? Well, a hook attracts the attention and gets people excited about the upcoming content. The hook itself is typically from around 15 seconds to 45 seconds long. So we're not talking about a 2-minute graphical kind of intro sequence. We're talking, you know, about really getting the viewers buy-in really, really quickly. You've got to identify, you know, and communicate what is in it for the viewer in a really succinct way, so they understand very quickly what's in it for them, and then they can decide whether they want to invest the time in watching more of that content that you're producing. So an example of copy-based hooks might well be, today you're going to learn ... and obviously you put the subject matter in after that, so you're immediately going in telling people, you know, what they're going to get out of it. That you know, it really is about communicating why a viewer needs to invest time in looking at your content. You could also do a sort of more attention grabbing line, you know, in terms of something like, it's a bit morbid, but something like, I almost died and then this happened. And you're trying to hook someone into a story, and then you can, once you've got their attention and you've sparked and you've piqued their curiosity, you can then drag them, sort of grab them and entice them, let's say, into your story and into your content. Another really strong way of using a hook is, in terms of a copy-based hook, is something along the lines of, coming up, we'll reveal the truth about whatever it is. Again, there's an element of, let's say, call it mystery or whatever in that kind of a headline, and it's sort of, again, it's piquing curiosity in the viewer, so they're going to want to find out, well, what is the truth about the subject that you're talking about? So before we dive into a great way of creating compelling video intros, just a cheeky little shout out to smash the little like button if you're getting value from this video, which I genuinely really hope you are. Also, if content like this is right up your street, then definitely definitely consider subscribing to this channel. We're all about empowering business owners and entrepreneurs, marketers like you to level up your video creating game so that you can implement really effective video into your business to drive your business growth. Now, if that sounds your type of thing, then we'd love to welcome you to our channel to join. Just press that naughty little subscribe button and you'll be notified every time we create new content. Right, let's talk about how you can structure a compelling YouTube intro. Marketer Sunny Lenarduzzi has a great way of breaking down how to create a compelling video intro. She breaks it down into 3 distinct areas under her HOT or HOT formula. Now, the hook serves to get the viewer's attention straight away, and then you move on to the outcome. You tell your audience exactly what they're going to get out of your video, compelling reasons for them to stick around and carry on watching. And the final piece of this is the testimonial. Now, this is about establishing your authority on the subject you're talking about and giving the viewers a reason to trust what you say. So, for example, imagine that I'm a plumber and I've got a YouTube channel. My testimonial bit might sound a bit like, I'm Colin and I've been a plumber for 15 years and I've worked out that I've changed over 500 tap washers in the last decade. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to fix a dripping tap. So in that example, you see how the testimonial element of things would segue really nicely into a video about how to change the washers on a tap, for example. It's just building your authority in terms of the subject matter that you're going to go on to talk about. Fundamentally, so people realize not making up as you go along and then not wasting their time as a viewer. So as we've seen, hooks can be statements or questions, something that's written or spoken, but also hooks can be visual too. Some examples of visual hooks would be, for example, imagine if you are shooting an interview and during the interview, you get some absolute gold or some amazing sound bites from the interviewee. One idea that works really, really well is to effectively use a sound bite and then start the video with the sound bite moment. And if it's something contentious or it's just a really, really amazing fact that no one knows, that in itself and of itself will entice people to stick around, because that again piques their interest and they'll want to know, well, if this was part of a larger conversation, I want to be part of that conversation. I want to know, that little tidbit of information was really interesting, but I want to know more about it. So it's a really good way of effectively, what you're doing is time shifting and you're saying, coming up, this amazing fact was revealed, but we need to know more about the context, and therefore people will stick around to watch the whole interview. So like I say, it could be an interviewee saying something contentious, or it could be, if you're not doing sort of interviewee type based things, it could be showing something in some impactful video footage. And then, so I don't know, it's something like an amazing thing that happens. And then again, you're piquing the viewer's interest and they're going to think, well, how on earth did that particular thing happen? That's quite a spectacular thing, whatever it is. I want to know the story behind it. And so then you spend the video unpacking the moments that led to that peak moment. It's almost like the crescendo moment in the main body of the video, and you're taking viewers on a journey to that moment, and that is a really, really powerful way of, again, engaging people, getting people into wanting to know more about your video. It's used all the time on TV, particularly in reality shows. A lot of the time you'll see this where, at the top of a part, for example, there'll be something spectacular. Someone has a row with someone, or someone throws something across the room, or whatever it is. They've got your attention at that point and you're like, oh my goodness, how did that happen? What was going on? I want to know more. And then, of course, they then spend the subsequent few minutes then ramping up to that moment that they've showed you a little sneak peek of right at the top of the part. So think in terms of, visual hooks. Think along the lines of the up next or coming up that they use on TV all the time. Up next, I'll go through 4 hooks that you can implement in your next video. But before that, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below what you're having difficulty with in terms of creating video. What are the roadblocks that you're coming across? What are you finding tricky? I'd massively appreciate it if you could take a couple of seconds just to let me know, so then I can create really focused content that specifically addresses the issues that you're coming across on your video making journey. So let's have a look at some examples of hooks that you can use in your next videos that you make. 4 hooks to use in your videos. So one great way is to use kind of surprising facts or fascinating facts. Did you know? And in this way, like we said before, you're piquing the interest and the curiosity of the viewers, but also because it's a fact, you're also demonstrating that you've got a depth of knowledge, again, which builds up the sort of credibility that you have in terms of what you're talking about and the subject matter of your content. Also, you can structure it in a problem solution kind of way. In what I mean by that is, have you ever struggled to whatever it is? Well, coming up, I've got 3 tips that will help you this, and this. So you're setting yourself up in that way as potentially being able to help your audience with an issue or a pain point that they've got. The other thing you can do is to ask questions. So something along the lines of, have you ever wondered, or how do you, whatever it is. If you ask a question, then obviously you need to go on in the video to then answer the question. But again, it just puts the viewer and the audience into a more active state rather than passively consuming your content. You're asking them to engage their grey matter, which is a really strong way of getting people engaged in your videos and getting them to buy into the content in that way. Also, another really good way of transforming viewers into active viewers rather than passive viewers is using words like imagine. If you're getting people to put themselves into a future state, to imagine things, that is a very powerful way of getting people to watch your video and consume your content. So that might look like something like this. So imagine a world where dirty dishes were a thing of the past. Clearly I'm not going to win any copywriting sort of awards, but you get the gist. You're asking the viewer to engage with your video content. You're not just simply, like I said before, spouting facts at them. They're not just a passenger in this video. They're actually getting involved in it. And also you're asking them to invest on an emotional level too, particularly in terms of if you're asking them to imagine them in a situation. It's a really great way of making people involved, getting people involved in your content. And if they're involved, they're much more likely to stick around for longer. So now you know all about hooks and how to attract and engage with your audience in super quick time. Now you're also going to need to know about how to structure the ideal YouTube video too. So make sure you click on the screen in a second to learn all about the framework behind the ideal YouTube video. In the meantime, please do smash that naughty little like button if you've got value out of this video. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, we'd love to welcome you into our community. So definitely consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Take care. Cheerio.